So, you've seen Justice League.
I have.
I have not.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and start this as the official TWIOCH spoiler-free section of Justice League.
Yep.
And then we'll, in the later half of the video, we'll move on to spoilers.
Correct.
So, tell me what you thought of Justice League.
Justice League was a mess. And it's everyone's fault. Warner Brothers is the big culprit in this. Snyder had things he wanted to do. Whedon was brought in to do reshoots, and then was told by Warner, "You need to do this, this, this." They had, I think it was 6 weeks of reshoots.
Jason Momoa is innocent.
Jason Momoa is not innocent. I will go into that.
Oh no! I love
that
him.
as well.
Okay.
So everyone is trying to blame people. Blame Warner.
Okay.
Okay. So
Official TWIOCH position. We blame Warner.
TWIOCH position, not my professional position. Don't fire me because I work with Warner Brothers. Anyways, so the official position is that this was a top-down problem, and the reason that there was a problem was Wonder Woman came out. Mm-hmm. Let me rewind it a little bit. Batman vs Superman came out, and the next month,
it absolutely did.
The next month is when they started shooting Justice League.
Interesting.
Yes. So they started shooting it. They already had the script. They already had everything ready. They went into doing it and went, oh man, I don't think people really liking this, but we have our thing that we have to do. So they're having problems there. And then Wonder Woman came out. And Wonder Woman came out right before reshoots for Justice League. So Wonder Woman comes out and they go, oh, people like this. This is really good.
Well, yeah.
This is really good. So they said, okay, we need more Wonder Woman, which is the only good part about Justice League. And then the second part was we need to make it more like Wonder Woman, and also that's way too freaking long. So the original cut was 2 hours and 48 minutes. So Whedon had to come in and cut that down because they had to take out scenes that were in there, but then reshoot scenes that had to do with those scenes to make sure
right, because you have to figure out how to portray this information in an abbreviated
You also have Mustache Gate that's going on. So the estimate on that, by the way, is $20 to $25 million to CGI out Henry Cavill's mustache because he legally could not shave off his mustache because of Mission Impossible 6, which prediction Mission Impossible 6 will tank at the box office. So you have all that going on. You have reshoots where they're trying to take out plots like the evil Superman plot and other plots that were going to be in there. They've completely taken out, and they're pretty obvious reshoots in my opinion. So the movie was a mess. The villain Steppenwolf is not given near enough time to develop. People who aren't a fan of DC and don't know who Steppenwolf is may not understand what he's actually trying to do. Steppenwolf is one of the, for lack of a better term, heralds of Darkseid. So he is wanting to terraform the Earth to make it like Apocalypse, which is his Darkseid's planet, so then Darkseid can come down and just reign over it.
See,
Yes, it is the same plot as Man of Steel. Alien comes in with a giant machine that's going to terraform the planet to make it look like their homeworld.
Well, also a problem is that in Marvel, Apocalypse is a villain. In DC, Apocalypse is a planet.
Correct.
I mean, of course, in DC, you can have a planet who is also a hero.
Yes. So it's a big mess in that the actors do a good job with what they're given. The reason that I mentioned Momoa is because in 2 interviews that I've watched, he does not understand the superpowers that Aquaman has. And when you have the, I know he's being Momoa and he's being I'm so smooth, and part of it may be joking, but when you're asked what powers does Aquaman have, don't say he controls water. Yeah, he does not control water.
No.
So that's my problem with Momoa. Other than that, the man's amazing. So for the most part, the actors are really good, but it's a mess in regards to plot. And if you want to see all the heroes on screen that are portrayed well, the heroes are actually portrayed well.
Okay.
Flash is really good. He's funny. Cyborg, I wanted more Cyborg, which I'll go into that later.
Okay, so do we have... Is it Wally?
What, for Flash?
Yeah.
No, it's Barry.
Okay, but is it Barry being Wally? Because you said he's funny, which is
A little bit.
okay.
Yeah.
So because that's the I really enjoy Flash in the animated Justice League, where he was voiced by Lex Luthor from Smallville. Okay. And I really enjoy Flash the character as portrayed by
Neil Patrick Harris, because Neil Patrick Harris has done it.
What?
Yeah.
Are you talking about voice or acting?
Voice.
Okay, I'm talking about Justin Grant.
Oh, okay.
From the TV series. Okay. I like the way that he portrays Flash, which is actually kind of similar to DC's version of Spider-Man in some ways, because he feels the responsibility, and it's also interesting to see how a character with much more power than Spider-Man, because Spider-Man can only be in so many places at once, and he feels the responsibility. He deals with a lot more of the limitations, where Flash has fewer limitations, but he still can't save everybody. And so it's that contrast is interesting for me in the series, but he still manages to bring humor to it. Yeah. And so this version is
it has the humor.
Barry Allen, but with a touch of Wally.
A little bit of that.
Okay. Okay.
That's good. Wonder Woman is great. They brought in more Wonder Woman. Cyborg is great. I wanted more Cyborg, which I'll go into that later.
Who doesn't?
And then Aquaman is Jason Momoa. And I don't mean Jason Momoa. I mean, it's not Jason Momoa portraying Aquaman. It is, they took Jason Momoa and they said, okay, your name is Aquaman now, but just be you. And it's great.
Well, it worked. It worked for Conan too, because that was absolutely Jason Momoa. They even had a part at the opening scene of Conan where they burned his eyebrow so that they could have a story reason for why that piece is missing. And that was my favorite part of the whole movie.
So character-wise, it's great. I'm going to go into spoilers here, and then I will go into something later on.
Before you do spoilers, what if you just want to sit back, turn your brain off, and just watch a bunch of superpowered characters?
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. You're absolutely gonna love it.
Okay.
And you may be a little confused on Steppenwolf, but you're like, he's a bad guy, and they stop the bad guy.
Okay. So now we're moving into spoiler territory. So if you haven't seen it and plan to see it and care about spoilers, now is the moment you tune out.
Yes. So spoilers. Okay. So Steppenwolf. First of all, they have a actually pretty good flashback scene where they explain mother boxes, right? So they talk about Steppenwolf and how the mother boxes, what all the power the mother boxes have, blah blah blah. Which, they talk about it very briefly.
Mother boxes.
But he goes to Themyscira to get their mother box because so Themyscira has sorry, that's present day. I'm confusing things. All three mother boxes are together, and in the flashback, humankind, as with the old gods, Zeus, Artemis, and somebody else.
Ares, Hermes.
I think it may have been Ares. I can't remember. Zeus was the big one because I was like, "Is that Shazam?" It's not. And then and all of the Amazons are fighting. So humans, Amazons, and the Green Lantern Corps are all fighting to stop Steppenwolf.
Okay.
Yeah.
Green Lantern Corps. Who shows up?
So this would have been thousands and thousands of years ago.
Okay.
So nobody we recognized, nobody I recognized.
Okay.
Let me know if you did recognize them. I didn't recognize them offhand.
Because
one of them dies, his ring flies off, which I don't think they were trying to lead into, who's going to be the next Lantern. I think it was specifically to show when they die, the ring goes off. It was trying to establish that.
Right.
So they fight off Steppenwolf, and Steppenwolf is so distraught that he lost. That's his character motivation, is you lost one time, so therefore you're going to try to come back and redo the thing you didn't get to do. That's his character motivation. So the Amazons and the humans...
You had your mission.
So Man and Atlantis, the Atlanteans help as well. So Man, Atlanteans, and the Amazons all are like, we're going to take a mother box each, we're going to hide them, we're going to protect them. So they do that, and men just
give one to humans.
And
that never works.
Men, you know what humans do? They're like, let's put it in a hole. They literally dig a hole and they throw it in there. So Steppenwolf comes in. He takes a mother box from the Amazons.
This is why when you have a character generator at the beginning of a game, you never pick a human.
Yeah,
humans are the worst.
So
if there's other options, pick something else.
Steppenwolf comes in very, very quickly. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to Themyscira," which he should. There's powers. There's magic as to how he can't get there. But anyways, he gets there. He takes it relatively easily, which is how it should be with this kind of bad guy.
Yeah.
I think it should have been even easier for him. But then he goes to Atlantis. So you have a 2-minute scene of Atlantis where Jason Momoa comes down to try to stop him because this is the Aquaman of, I don't want to be part of that world because I was lied to and all this. So he comes in, tries to stop Steppenwolf. He can't stop Steppenwolf. He takes the mother box, and Mara has a brief scene with him where she basically says, "You need to protect Atlantis. You need to go get that back.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to be the king, but you're not wanting to be the king. That's what you're supposed to do."
And even if you don't want to be involved with the rest of the world, this is something that threatens everybody. It's the argument for the Fellowship of the for the Fellowship of the Ring is like, look, if this goes poorly, we are all screwed.
Yes.
So forget about these issues that we have between elves and dwarves and humans, etc. It's like, okay, let's take care of this, then we can go back to our little feuds.
Yeah.
But as King of Atlantis, even if you want to be removed from society, from humans, from Themyscira, if you want to be separated from everybody, you still have to take care of this before you can do that.
Correct. And I'm not doing this sequentially, I'm just doing this out of the ridiculous things that happen. So he talks to Mara, and Mara's like, "You need to do this," and he's like, "Okay, but I needed something from you." And that's when this is the part that they don't explain in the freaking movie. Maybe that's why Jason Momoa is confused about it, because he borrows Mara's quintident, her trident thing.
Right.
And that allows him to manipulate water later on.
And that's where that comes from.
Yes.
Okay. Because I've been wondering that since they've been showing...
That's why he has that. That's why he doesn't have his trident.
Okay.
So...
glad we got that covered.
So Steppenwolf is... What I've told you of Steppenwolf is all the movie tells you about Steppenwolf. He says Darkseid once in passing, but they
that's
talk
enough
about
information.
They just say he wants to make Earth like the hellscape of his homeworld. They don't even mention his homeworld.
Okay.
Barry Allen's introduced, and what you saw in the trailers is the best part of Barry Allen, because he comes in and he's funny and he's like, "I don't have friends. I'll hang out with you guys." And he mentions the Speed Force once. He's saying, "It's more than just being fast, it's the Speed Force, and I get really hungry." And that was it. And then one scene with him and Cyborg where Cyborg asks him, "So you got hit by lightning?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's the short version of it." And then they're like, "Oh, I guess we're both accidents." And that's the only... and that's it. That's it. They don't explain anything of Barry Allen. So... they don't explain any of that. You do get a great scene where all of them are... hold on, I'll go into that later. So Steppenwolf has 2 mother boxes. He does not have the 3rd mother box. He doesn't have the one that humans had. Okay. Because Cyborg's father had that. So they're all trying to figure out, like, what the heck do we do? Cyborg comes in with the mother box, and he's like, this is the last bit that he needs. And Batman says... or Cyborg's explaining what the mother box can do in regards to cellular regeneration, in regards to terraforming, but cellular regeneration is what it did to Cyborg.
Right.
And Batman's like, well, that's what it did to a human, but what would that do to a physiology that can take more power than that? Can it bring back Superman?
Kryptonian.
And they're all arguing, and Cyborg's like, "Well, I did the calculations while you guys were all arguing, and yeah, I can do that." And they're like,
"I love Cyborg."
They're like, "I guess we'll do this." So they resurrect Superman, and
like you do.
This is there's a lot of these reshoots that are done in here, but they resurrect Superman, and they do that by putting him into the Genesis chamber that they put Zod in.
Okay.
So they put him into that. And they're like, "We need to drop the mother box in here, but the mother box doesn't have enough power." So Barry
speed
forces it and touches it at the last second to create the power enough to regenerate Superman.
Does it give him long hair?
No.
Oh.
No long hair. He shoots up into the sky, confused about everything that's going on, and he's shirtless. Yeah. So then the Justice League line up all in a row to confront him, and he's confused and everything. And this is my favorite part of second favorite part of Jason Momoa, because they're all like just saying, just be calm and see what he does. And Cyborg is like, Aquaman, you need to calm down, Arthur, because your adrenaline is spiking. And he's like, I can't help it, because he thinks that Superman's going to attack him.
Right.
So Superman,
he's getting all excited,
and Superman can tell. Because it's very primal Superman, where he's like, I don't know who I am. I'm scanning people. I don't even know how I'm doing this. And Cyborg's power, his digital self, his cyborg self, is like trying to protect him from Superman. So without him wanting to, his arm's turning into a gun, and they're like, what are you doing? He's like, I can't help it. So they have a fight, and Barry Allen's like running around, and he realizes Superman is like just as fast as him, or maybe there's this thing where he's like, holy crap, he can see me, he's following me, his eyes are following me. And then they have a scuffle moving that fast, which is really cool. And then Superman pieces out. And they're like, I don't know what to do about this, because this is what we needed. And Steppenwolf... Oh, and while they're doing that, while they're having this little scuffle, Steppenwolf literally... what was it called? Is it a boom tube? Whatever the
boom tube?
It's boom something. I always forget the name of it. It's their teleportation thing that he uses.
Oh, okay.
So he goes, pew, and comes down, grabs the mother box out of the building that they were in before. So he's got the last mother box, and they're like, so they're all sitting around going, okay, so Superman's not going to be of any use, and that was like our last hope. So,
and we lost the mother box.
I guess we're just going to do this ourselves and probably die. And that's my other favorite scene with Momoa, because he's talking about how ridiculous this is, and he's talking about how ill-equipped they are. But then he comes to Wonder Woman, and he's like, but you're just beautiful, and you're strong, and then he realizes that he's sitting on the lasso of truth. Like that Wonder Woman was messing with him.
That's awesome.
So shipping the two of them hardcore, because they had a thing in there. So they go to fight Steppenwolf, and you have a little bit of Batman being like, I'm on my own, I don't need you. Like, they're going to go do the thing, and he's like, I'm going to take all the parademons. He's like, I'm going to get the parademons away from you. You do the thing, don't worry about me. And they're like, no, we worry about you. So they go help him, and last second Superman comes in with really corny lines and stops him.
Well, to be fair, most of the time Superman is stuck in the 50s.
I did forget to bring up, while the fight is all happening, Batman previously said, because Batman always has a contingency plan for everything, and he told Alfred,
that's what he does.
We're going to bring out the big guns. And Alfred's like, I don't think you should do that. And he's like, I'm going to bring out the big guns. And immediately I'm thinking, he's going to kryptonite the fuck out of him. So the big guns are Lois. He drives, like a limo pulls up, and Lois comes out, and he eases up and goes, oh my God, like, what have I done? And then he goes and spends time, he talks to Lois, and he talks to his mom about the things, and then he decides to come back. So when he decides to come back, he's got the suit, and he fights off Steppenwolf, and the fights are pretty good, but what they cut out was the evil Superman portion. So it's this confusing thing where it's like, he's primal, but then he has a couple lines that he says in there, like he asks Batman, do you bleed? Which is the whole thing from Batman vs. Superman. Right. This was going into evil Superman, but they cut out evil Superman completely. They cut out that whole thing, and they were just like, he's confused for a bit. They brought in Lois. Lois was the key, which they said in Batman vs. Superman. So Lois,
as we all remember,
saved the day, kind of.
By existing.
And
that's where we put women in superhero movies, is like they exist or they are Wonder Woman.
Yep. And which sucks, because Amy Adams in Batman vs. Superman and Lois in that was doing really well. Yeah. And in this, it was just, it was her being very sad about him being gone, and her work wasn't as good as it used to be, and it sucked. So the very end of the movie, they all got together and they fought the bad guy. And then Ma Kent's farm was going to be foreclosed on. That's part of the a subplot of the movie because she doesn't have enough money and Clark's gone because he's been dead. So very end of the movie, the farm is bought out by Bruce Wayne, by Wayne Industries, and because he bought the bank that foreclosed on the farm, and he's like, no big deal.
He just goes next level with it.
It's whatever. He's like, they wouldn't give me the farm, so I just bought the bank. That's basically what he was saying.
So he did the Inception thing. Did you buy out the plane? He's like, no, I bought the airline.
I bought the airline. We're good.
It's fine.
I will say that Henry Cavill in this movie, there are glimpses of what Superman should be.
Okay.
And more of the heart of Superman, which they've not gotten right here. In the DC extended, the DC animated universe, they have done this very well. And I was explaining to Whitney about that because she hates Ben Affleck as Batman. I think he's a pretty good Batman because I think that they're trying to go towards the Justice League dynamic where Batman is a pessimist. He hates everybody. He's doing this because he has to.
Yeah.
You don't get out of line because he has a way to get you back in. Mm-hmm. That's what he should be. This is grizzled Batman who does not want to be there, but he's doing it because he has to. He's seen some shit and now he's doing this. So I think that we're getting closer to that. You do have the obligatory hint of there will be more people because they go into Wayne Manor because Wayne Manor was like destroyed and all that from Batman vs Superman. So they go in there and like this big hall and he's like, hey, this could be a great place for our group to meet. We'll have a big round table with enough room and Wonder Woman I think is like in room for more. He's like because you need more people. The after credits scenes though, one was good and one was dumb. You have Superman and Flash deciding, let's see who's faster. Let's see who's faster here. And they start a race. I'm like, yay, because that's a callback to the comics. It was also kind of fun to see that playful banter between the two of them. Yeah. And there's an ongoing joke about Flash not understanding which direction is like west or north or whatever. So they did that again. And then the last after credits was Deathstroke. We finally get to see him. He busted out Lex from prison. Mm-hmm. And Lex basically says we should create our own league. And that's it. And I don't like Lex, so
I don't like this Lex.
This Lex.
I love Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
He is absolutely one of my favorites, and I was really disappointed at how he's been treated.
I would have loved to see them. I hate saying this, but they need to recast him, and they need to recast Jared Leto, and they need to do it in a skillful way. Now, the skillful way to recast Jared Leto, in my opinion, is to have the twist of that's Jason Todd.
Yep.
And that Jason Todd is so messed up he thinks he's Joker now. Mm-hmm. That's how you fix that, DC.
Yep.
So how you fix Lex is you take a page from the Smallville script and you have Lionel Luthor come back, and you have Lex being stupid, but Lionel being the one who starts bringing back everything.
Yeah.
You can do it however you want to do it. DC's already rewritten their past of their own movies multiple times. So they can have that come back because he's supposed to be dead, but we can have it so that he's not. Or maybe it's his uncle or someone who comes in and he's like, you know what, I'm buying this out. And, you have someone like Bryan Cranston come in there as that powerful, just dominating character who, when you get all these supervillains together, why are they listening to this pipsqueak Lex Luthor?
Human, yeah.
Why would you listen to that? You have someone who's intelligent and demanding and just comes in there and just gets them all in line and says, no, this is the right way to do it. You guys don't know what you're doing. You need to do it the right way. And having someone like that would add the gravity to do that.
Yeah.
The other problem with this movie, obviously, is you didn't have Flash or Aquaman or Cyborg. You had a little bit more Cyborg than anybody else, but you didn't have backstory of them.
Yeah, there was some talk on Twitter about it wasn't like actually trending, but it was in the vicinity of trending of how bold they were for not doing the other movies first. And it's like, okay, there's a difference between bold and just choosing to do something that is not on its surface a smart move.
Yeah.
And in the end, it ends up not being a smart move because you need to connect with these characters. And one of the reasons that Avengers works so well is because we know these characters and because we're familiar with them. And even if they don't have a lot of screen time in the Avengers movies, we still understand why they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
And that's important for us to be able to connect for us. And for us to be able to understand why it matters that these people are there, and for them not to be simply a group of sub characters following the main two,
correct?
Which is what DC has turned it into.
Yeah, three.
Okay.
Thankfully, but the way I would have fixed it, which I may or may not do I was going to do a review of this, but I haven't had time lately because I want to bring back script doctors and do more movie reviews. But the biggest fix to this would have been if you're already, it's too late, as Cass and I are texting back and forth arguing about this movie, and she was like, it's too late to go back and do the Barry Allen movie, it's too late to do the Aquaman movie. The fix is, if you're already in that too late, you go, okay, we've already seen some of these characters in Batman vs. Superman in a very brief thing. You start the movie, Flash and Aquaman are already part of the team.
Yeah.
They're already part of the team. They already know each other. They joke back and forth, but they're already on board with everything that's going on, and they're start investigating these parademons that started showing up. Cyborg, they see all these power grid issues going on and everything. Then they'll have a confrontation with Cyborg where they think that he's behind all of it and he's controlled by the Mother Box. And then they go, oh no, he's not. They figure that out. He reluctantly joins the team when they bring Steppenwolf in. You don't bring Steppenwolf in until maybe halfway through the movie because you're like, what is causing all this? And when he shows up and wrecks Themyscira. That's what should happen. It shouldn't have been this, oh, well, he's kind of deflecting some things. No, none of them should have withstood this guy. And it's nothing against the Amazons. He needs to be that powerful. You bring a villain that needs the Justice League to stop it. The Amazons aren't going to stop it. Then you have the whole Justice League helping and everything, and if you really want to resurrect Superman, you resurrect Superman and you make him evil. In my opinion, I wouldn't have even resurrected him in this movie. I think that that whole thing needs to be one on its own.
Yeah, evil Superman is one of my favorites.
He comes back on his own. So while they're doing all this, they're like, and this guy, resurrect on his own like he did in the comics.
Yeah.
He comes back on his own. No one knows what he's doing, and the world is scared.
And he doesn't know what
he's doing, and the world is like, is he with? Because humans don't know what the heck they're talking about. So all the news is going: is Superman gone rogue?
Teams, yeah.
Is he behind all these attacks because he keeps showing up and he keeps doing this? So that would be a better way to do it, where you tie in and it's Cyborg as the main character that they're bringing in. You learn a lot about Cyborg, you learn about the Mother Boxes, you learn about Steppenwolf, and that's all the story is. All the other characters.
It also plays well on the idea of people like not. It's the line from Men in Black. A person is smart.
Yes.
People are dumb, idiotic, panicky, and they will look at something that they don't understand or that they have been led to believe is potentially dangerous.
Yeah.
And they can be trained or targeted to fear that. Yeah. And that's something that Steppenwolf could have used because he's intelligent as hell.
Also, if Superman's fast enough, if you brought him back with long hair, black suit, he's running around and people could be asking, where is Superman? Who is this person?
Yeah.
You don't have to do bizarro levels of it, but you have a confusion of I think he's Superman, but I don't know. So you can have half the people saying, you can have a left-right versus thing.
Absolutely.
Where you have people debating, I think this is Superman. He's a menace, and other people are going, we don't know if that's really Superman. It could be someone else. Doesn't look like Superman. He's dead. You could have that as a subplot going on, but the more important thing is you need to take care with Cyborg. Lead him into more of what's going on, because they did a little bit, but they could have done that a lot more. Take the time and don't worry about Aquaman and Flash, because they've already just fast forward to that and then do their movies later, which they're already doing. So, in all, I mean, it was entertaining, but there's a lot to fix. Let me know in the comments what you would have done differently in Justice League, and if you want to see the full Zack Snyder version of the Justice League, because I want to see his cut to compare it, because the Batman vs. Superman cut is not bad.
Okay.
See you later.
Thanks for watching This Week in Our Collective Heads. Subscribe over here and click the bell, and that way you'll know about any new videos that we put up, because we put up a lot of gameplay, a lot of stories from games and stuff like that, and gameplay is down here.
Yeah, and you got more editorials and news stuff down here. Check it out.